155. Now, that is not just a random number, and we're definitely not talking about some small startup milestone here. I want you to picture this incredibly ambitious, meticulously detailed blueprint where the core objective, literally the main goal, is to create exactly 155 new generation billionaires. But here is the absolute wildest part. This immense wealth, it isn't projected to come from, traditional real estate or heavy mining or standard software. No, it is strictly being engineered through marine conservation, ecological restoration, and some seriously cutting-edge digital technology.
So welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining us because today we are unpacking a remarkably dense but profoundly visionary project. We are looking at a master plan that fuses ecology, advanced tech, and global digital finance in a way we really rarely see. It's this regenerative blueprint aiming to completely rewrite the rules of coastal economics, proving that, hey, saving the environment and making a staggering amount of money, they actually don't have to be mutually exclusive. All right, let's just dive right into this layered blueprint and systematically peel it back so we don't get overwhelmed. We're going to start with the super app version, move into the biological trinity, scale that up to the marine regenerative economy, check out the digital asset future, and then finally, billionaire creation. Section 1, the super app vision, basically our digital command center. Before we get our hands wet in the ocean, we really need to understand how this massive physical and financial operation is actually managed day to day. The whole foundation relies on a major digital merger. According to the blueprint, 3 existing smart super apps, Novita, Kanai, and Skygold, are being completely integrated into one ultimate platform. This is the Smart Super App QAG, and it acts as the core brain of the operation, handling all the digitization and scaling for this entire regenerative model. But to truly grasp the impact here, we've got to ground this in reality, right? This isn't just software living on a server somewhere. The pilot outlines a massive physical footprint. We're talking a minimum of 5,000 hectares located in Van Phong Bay. And the absolutely crucial point here is their strict rule. They are fully committing to aquafarming with the explicit goal of 0 harmful chemicals. 0. Moving on to Section 2, the biological trinity, where tech meets bio. Okay, so now we transition from the digital cloud straight into the physical waters to see the actual biological and hardware mechanics driving this bay's regeneration. The authors introduce what they call the Trinity of Tech Bio. And it's pretty fascinating. It elegantly maps the ancient philosophical concept of heaven, earth, and human directly to some very practical, cutting-edge environmental applications. Let's break those down. First up, we have heaven. In this model, heaven is represented by the ATM smokeless incinerator. This is a vital piece of tech that processes byproducts, biomass, and organic materials. So instead of letting waste sit there and pollute the coast, this incinerator transforms it into high-value items. It improves air quality, slashes waste, and effectively kickstarts a genuine circular economy right there on the shoreline. Next, we have Earth. The source actually refers to biochar as the black diamond, which is a pretty cool way to put it. It acts as this ultimate soil and carbon management tool, letting them improve the natural environment and really foster sustainable growth. This means they can extract economic value from the resources without depleting them. It literally anchors the entire physical ecosystem. And we round out the trinity with human. This one focuses entirely on biology, specifically Japanese RG92 red algae. By putting this specific red algae directly into the aquafarming waters, it elevates the seafood quality and heavily slashes the system's reliance on chemicals. It basically guarantees that the final seafood supply chain is incredibly clean and, of course, holds a much higher added value. All right, Section 3, the marine regenerative economy, looking at how this all scales up. So you might be wondering, how do these biological tools, the incinerators, the biochar, the algae, actually impact the people living there? Well, there's a really sharp contrast here to traditional development. While your typical massive infrastructure project usually involves, buying out locals and confiscating land, the QAG model demands long-term synergy. It is built on a cooperative partnership between the enterprise, the local fishers, and the whole surrounding community. To scale this up, the business model plans to expand outward from that initial Van Phong Bay pilot to form exactly 155 socialist regenerative economic cooperatives. And these are going to be distributed all along Vietnam's massive 3,300-kilometer coastline, with every single one aiming to replicate that initial 5,000-hectare footprint. And this brilliantly illustrates that community-first approach. Just look at the profit distribution. It is heavily skewed, proposing a massive 78% of financial benefits go directly back to the locals and fishers, leaving just 22% for QAG Inc. That distinct financial incentive right there, that is the absolute glue guaranteeing the long-term cooperation we were just talking about. Section 4, the digital asset future, where things go global. Now, this is where the physical coastlines meet high-speed global finance. Just take a second to process this staggering number, 7.75 trillion. That is a lot of zeros. The source states this is the strategic volume of real-world asset, or RWA tokens, proposed to back this entire physical infrastructure. That giant number is the digital bridge connecting the physical world of biochar and red algae straight to the blockchain ledger.
Let's walk through this complex financial flow step by step. First, the whole production and management infrastructure is digitized via the QAG token. Second, this gets integrated into that massive ecosystem of 7.75 trillion RWA tokens. Third, for absolute transparency, these assets are managed by trust systems over in Singapore, specifically US Trust, ATG Trust, and Novita Trust. And finally, the long-term legal vision is to bring these digital assets to trade at an international financial center in Da Nang once all the legal frameworks are securely in place in Vietnam.
Section 5, Billionaire Creation, focusing on the human outcomes.
And this brings us full circle, from trillions of digital tokens all the way back to human outcomes. The ultimate goal of combining super apps, physical biochar, and global crypto is to discover and foster exactly 155 new generation US dollar billionaires. But the blueprint insists these leaders have to be built on 3 foundational pillars: ethics, young talent, and sustainable development. Plus, the model actively aims to hit 14 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, all while backed by heavy academic endorsement from 31 professors and doctors at the MPAQ Institute.
The source document actually signs off with this really powerful grounding quote, "Joining hands for Great Mother Earth." It serves as an essential ethical anchor for what is otherwise a wildly technical and financial blueprint. It's a constant reminder that at the very core of the trillions of tokens and super apps is the mother ecosystem itself.
So that leads us to our final provocative thought for today. Can this incredibly layered fusion, merging super apps, global crypto assets, and highly localized biology, can it truly become the definitive blueprint for our ocean's future? Is this the holistic cure our marine ecosystems have been waiting for, unlocking wealth while actively healing nature? It's a massive, complex vision for sure, and definitely something to carefully ponder. Thanks for diving into this explainer with us.